Hello everyone, I'm Sonia. Welcome to my speed paint or redraw of Amano Keita from Yokai Watch. I used to love Yokai Watch. I still like it, but I didn't like it when that girl got introduced. I think she has glasses. I thought she was a bit annoying. And I didn't like how it stopped focusing on Keita. Like, they even made a joke that he's not the main character anymore, which was so true. But anyways, tonight I wanted to talk about what my experience is with depression and BPD, borderline personality disorder. I have both. I'm medicated for both. But lately I've been feeling the effects a lot more strongly. I think because I stopped taking a certain medicine, which caused everything to go out of whack. So that's unfortunate. But for a long while I felt so neurotypical and happy. But yeah, lately I've just been really sad. Especially at night when I'm alone. That's why I make these videos, so maybe someone can watch and they won't be alone. So with BPD, there's a lot of stigma around it and also a lot of confusion. People really mix it up with bipolar disorder, which it's not. Bipolar is they feel really, really great and are in mania for 2 weeks or something, and then they get really depressed for another 2 weeks or so. But with BPD, it's you're really happy 1 second, and then the next second you're really angry or violent or upset, and you can get really happy again in the next second. It's really up and down, and it's really painful to go through and for people to watch you be so unstable, and you know you're unstable, but you just have to keep going through it. And even as you're screaming at people, you know you're being horrible, you know you're spitting poison, but you can't stop because you're so mentally ill. That was my experience. Especially when I lived with my parents. I used to get so annoyed and angry, especially towards my family, and then I'll feel really guilty afterwards for lashing out. And I can, as I said, I can understand when I'm being unreasonable, but I can't stop myself. And I'll be sad because, this is more the depression side of things, but I'll be sad because I'll know that there's nothing to be sad about. And when people tell me that, I've had my aunt tell me, you chose your life. Everything that you've built up is because of you. You should be happy. But that's not true. And being told that really hurts. I made myself sad. I don't think that's exactly the case. I wish it was all on me, but unfortunately BPD is a personality disorder that you develop when you're growing up and you have severe abandonment issues. And you grow up with an unstable kind of household, so that's what happened to me. And with BPD, you always feel like you're a burden on someone. So it causes you to ask for reassurance all the time. But at the same time, being so clingy is gonna push them away. And then you're gonna make that self-fulfilling prophecy of being depressed and they're gonna abandon you because you were so needy. Or you're gonna be so standoffish even though you like them so much, but they said something wrong, or not even wrong, you took it as bad, that they leave you. Like the smallest thing could set you off. Like once my boyfriend, I think he texted good night with a period, and then I was screaming, bawling, crying. Like it was really intense. And nothing on him, like it's a normal thing to text with punctuation, but that really set me off and was like, wow, he hates me. Even though he didn't, he loves me, he still loves me. And another thing, you would never know that things would happen again. Like it's kind of hard to describe, but I'd only know he loved me when he told me he loved me. And then the second after he finishes that sentence, I don't know if he loves me anymore. I'm like, did I do something to destroy what he just said, even though it's only been 1 second? Probably not, but I could never be sure and confident that someone wouldn't leave me. I don't know, I'm just really sad. But yeah, as I was saying, there's like when I was kind of neurotypical with the medication, not neurotypical, but like I felt neurotypical. I had the thought of, what if he doesn't say he loves me again? And then the next thought would be, oh, he definitely will, like nothing's changed. So that was a huge step forward of just being like, oh, it's okay, it'll happen again, or nothing has changed. And there's also the thought with BPD that you hate everything and that you're always bored. And intense boredom is something that is common with BPD because you don't really have interests, or like your interests are whatever you meld yourself to be with other people. Like if someone's really into something and you want to be friends with them, you're gonna meld and chameleonize yourself to be into whatever they're into, just so you could get close to them. And then, the next second you're just gonna drop it because it's boring to you, or you don't want to be their friend anymore because they said something. And people are always, like with BPD, you always see people as fully good or fully bad. So for example, if a professor assigned homework, I would see them as fully bad and be like, I hate this professor, I hate school, I hate everything. But they're literally just doing their job. And I understood that, but that didn't stop me from hating them. Or if someone said something bad once, I'll think they're horrible. When that's not the case, there's three-dimensional beings, they're people. And also, I was always stressed. I think this is more the anxiety part of things. But I couldn't enjoy anything because I was stressed about everything. I would be stressed about assignments that are due way later. Like if I had an assignment due in 2 months, I'd be stressing about it right now. And I remember being stressed about not being able to handle the future while I'll still be in despair, and things will only get worse, and everyone I love will die, or maybe I'll die or get a terminal illness. Like it was just these crazy intrusive thoughts. I literally felt like I was going insane just in my own head, thinking horrible things, and I couldn't be happy and think sanely like everyone else. And also, this is, I guess, more with depression, but I think BPD and anxiety feed into it because basically I was always sleepy. I was always sleeping or falling asleep. And the reason I think that all of this combines is because when you're so stressed about something, or your anxiety is so high, or you're always thinking horrible things, you're gonna get exhausted, like mentally exhausted, and that'll turn into physical exhaustion, and you just won't want to do anything. I would always fall asleep. Like if I'm reading, I'd fall asleep. If I'm playing a video game, I'd fall asleep. Like to the point where it was almost like narcolepsy. And I got really sad because I was like crying because I felt so depressed that there was no point in doing anything, because anything I did would cause me to fall asleep. I could get a full 10 hours of sleep at night and still fall asleep an hour later. Like I'll take a nap right after I wake up. And of course, I had trouble paying attention. My doctor isn't sure if it's ADHD. They diagnosed me with ADHD, but then when I took ADHD medication, it didn't work. So they thought maybe you don't have ADHD, which is kind of a weird reasoning. But anyways, I had a lot of trouble listening to people. Like if they were speaking or explaining something, I can't follow what they're saying. And words almost don't sound like words. Like I forget someone's talking to me while they're talking to me. I can't follow like sentence to sentence. And this is in conjunction with my poor memory due to depression. And of course, it takes me hours to write even a few sentences on an essay or something. And I also felt really stupid. I'm like, why can't I do this when everyone else can do this? So another thing was that my memory was becoming really horrible, to the point I thought, like, do I have early onset something? Like, this is really bad. I wouldn't be able to read things because everything I read wouldn't make sense. My short-term memory was bad, and I'd have to keep making people repeat what they said. I'd forget what I'm saying in the middle of my sentence. Like, I'd stop super abruptly and be like, oh, I forgot. Like, it was just a hard-hitting forgetfulness. And I also had issues with being myself because I didn't know who I was, honestly. Because I would just meld myself to be what other people wanted me to be. The perfect kid, the best friend, be into whatever my friends are into. An example of this is how I used to pretend I was into music and, like, you know, One Direction, Justin Bieber, or whatever. Selena Gomez. But now I know I don't like music at all. It's frankly annoying and just sounds like noise to me. I know it's music and I know I can hear it and sound it out, but it just sounds really annoying. When I was dating my ex, I always thought, do I even have a personality, or do I just like him and that's my personality? But, you know, that's also because he made me super depressed and was horrible to me. That I would always grasp for him, but he was very neglectful, which really fed into my abandonment issues, and I was like, I have to be more like him and be interested in what he wants so that he likes me more and he actually hangs out with me. You know, that didn't happen, and then I broke up with him. But anyways, also I wrote this one out because it was such a prevalent thing to me, but hanging out with friends makes me feel like the whole time I'm putting on a face, although I don't know how to not put it on, and my personality is just a face. Like, I don't know anything about me or what I like. I'm not funny or smart. I'm just tricking everyone into thinking I'm funny or smart. And for some reason, hanging out with girls especially made me feel like that even more, because I felt like I had to be even more energetic and excited and nice when I was just feeling super depressed and didn't want to be all of that. And keep in mind, a lot of these things I'm a lot better with. I don't feel like this anymore. I'm okay with girls now and talking to friends. but I'm starting to feel some of these emotions and feelings coming back to me as I stop taking that medication. And I remember always apologizing a lot. You know, I am Canadian, but it was to the point that people would tell me to stop apologizing, or what the heck are you apologizing for? And as well as apologizing, I would always thank people for the simplest things, to the point where they'd get confused. Like thanks for talking to me, I'd say. And I'd feel like all my actions, especially the bad ones, like if I did something to someone, they're irreversible, and everyone in their hearts will hold it that I'm boring to be around or annoying to be around. Okay, this one is kind of embarrassing, but I would shower maybe once a week or less. This was the depression, I think. But even when I wasn't depressed, I guess I wouldn't shower. It's just a pain. I don't like showering. I'm like a cat, literally. Like my friend told me that today. I hate showering. I don't like water. And this was before, now I'm better with this. But when I'm in charge of what I have to eat, I barely eat because I feel like it's a waste of money and time. It'd get to the point where I'd be like holding a granola bar or something and being like crying because I couldn't eat it because I didn't want to eat it. I didn't have body image issues or anything. I just didn't want to keep living, I guess, so I just wouldn't eat. Even if I wanted to eat or was hungry. Or if someone offered me something for free, even, like my roommates, my amazing roommates when I lived in Raven House. They would always try to feed me, but I'd be like, no, it's okay. And a lot of the time, it's just kind of dark, but I'd imagine myself falling or getting extremely hurt or dying or accidentally killing someone. Like, just really violent, uncomfortable things. Some of the triggers were having homework, because that was something I obviously didn't want to do. Having to do things in general, like having to hang out with friends, makes me feel forced. Or having to go to work makes me feel forced, and I would cry a lot. Having to wake up early for anything, because then, you know, I would be stressed about it the whole night before. Of course, perceived abandonment and rejection. Being called ungrateful and lazy even though I'm trying my best. Having to go to sleep at night makes me cry because I feel alone and anticipate tomorrow. And seeing friends or interacting with people used to leave me agitated, even if I liked them, and like I need to be alone before I explode at someone. So I isolate my friends for even months at a time to calm down from that one interaction I had. And whenever me or someone else had to leave, I would cry, or the day was ending and I had a fun day, I'd cry. So yeah, that was my experience. I don't have all the symptoms of BPD, but you don't need to have all of them to be diagnosed with it. Like I did not do physical self-harm or anything, or throw chairs or whatever. When I was angry, I'd just scream a lot. But yeah, sorry. I don't know what to talk about, so I looked at my Google Docs and I'm like, oh yeah, I have a list of my symptoms. Let me talk about that in case maybe it can help someone if they're going through the same thing. It's really hard to go through, and I really recommend medication. That's the only thing that helped me. Like, talk therapy didn't really help me. I just thought it was kind of useless and almost triggering when the counselors were very mean sometimes. Yeah. So let me know if there's any topics you guys would like me to talk about. I'm down to talk about anything. I was thinking of doing a 1-week sketchbook challenge. So that's exciting, but maybe once I finish my essay. I've been talking about this essay for a week now. Okay. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone.